I thought we could do is just have a conversation about coalition building, because it is really important. I'm going to put out a few reasons of why I think it's important, and then go through some of just the real key elements of a coalition, and then I'll turn it over to that old man with moldy underwear, and he can tell us a little bit about the coalitions he's been involved with, and I know that one of the reasons I know Doug is supportive of coalitions is because that's how I met him. Way before I was a machinist, I was active in the community. And the one labor person that showed up at the different coalition meetings time after time after time was Mr. Curler. And I'll tell you, he's got a lot of friends out there in what we call the community, which is community-based organizations, religious organizations. He's got a lot of friends out there. You mention his name and you've got that high level of respect because he understood. He understood. And we knew that he understood. He represented this union, but he also be representing the idea of we can't do this alone, okay?
It's not just another pretty thing.
So you keep drinking over there. I want to see. Because by the time you get up here, I want you to be nice and sauced, okay? So I'll really have something to put on YouTube, okay? Anyway, okay, so, the way I think, the best way to me right now is to start out is to talk about things like, do people know what's going on in Master Lock right now? Do people know what Master Lock is?
I know what it is.
Okay, well, Master Lock is a UAW represented shop, okay? And it's been one of the stalwarts of employment for Milwaukee for years and years and years, okay? And they're one of the companies like Briggs & Stratton, American Motors. Remember those? Remember those? I mean, that's where people went and worked and were able to get livings. They provided them with enough money and enough subsistence to send their kids to college and to move them on and to raise kids that did better than them. And we relied on them. Our parents relied on them, those places of employment for our well-being. And a lot of them have gone. Briggs, when I started there was 11,000 people. Now there's like 500 people left. And it's going less and less every day. A.O. Smith is a thing of the past. American Motors is a thing of the past. We all know this. Master Lock has stayed, okay? They fought through the battles and they actually stayed. But now what's happening is that they've been in contract negotiation, and it turns out that they think it's a good idea to take people's pensions away. Even the people who are already on pension. They're not just after the people who are looking to preserve their pensions and are still working, but the people who have already been through their time of work and they've locked themselves into these pensions and they've planned their lives around them, they've planned the rest of their lives around them. They're after their health care, they're after their benefits, they're after, and I don't know all the details, but the basics are they're after their pension benefits. That's the main issue. So they're having this rally on Friday to, the bargaining committee has asked people to come out from the community and rally in front of the shop and, let them know that it's not just the workers, it's the entire community that's behind them. Well, who can tell me why they're inviting the community? Why would they think to invite other people rather than their members?
You need to build a coalition.
Right. It's the concept. It's the idea. I mean, why would if a company's at odds with their workers and you're having a struggle at the contract table, why would you call in anybody else? Why would you call up people from this quote-unquote community, like community-based organizations or maybe church groups, people like that to come in and help you out? Why do you do that? Why would
just for support?
Strength in numbers and support, right?
Yeah, it's not just the coalition thing. It's that the community where Master Lock is, when they're screwing up, everybody around there suffers. We saw that with A.O. Smith. What do they call it after A.O. Smith? Tower on North, where all those businesses and everything closed around there due to what happened there. So, yeah.
So, so you got Master Lock and now Caterpillar has, they're up to this, and they're notorious for union busting.
Companies do the same thing. I mean, not just, it isn't about the workers, inviting the community. Companies do the same thing, with the press and the media.
Sure.
It may be also just to get more word out as far as for what's going on, because not everyone is cued to read in newspapers, listen to news and all the rest, and we keep on talking about it, that we all assume people know what's going on within their work life, within their community, but as big as we are, people are so isolated sometimes, and sometimes you're hoping that one more person gets there, that one person can talk to someone else.
And no, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, if you look at Master Lock, Caterpillar, if you look at things like, okay, now, everybody know what the labor press is? Okay? My parents got it, your parents got it, most likely if they were unions. It's been going out to union households for over 70 years, okay? It's a, you know, a newspaper that basically is what Doug says. It talks to you about what's going on in the labor community. It talks to people about what's important to labor, what's important to us as working people and unions. It was our way to communicate with each other. Well, guess what? It's done. It's canceled, okay? It's canceled. Guess what? This year, from my understanding is we're not going to have a labor fest. We're not going to have a labor, that big labor party that we so enjoyed. Remember, you and your kids?
I know, it sucks when I saw that email. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, so apparently they're going to do that. Is it because the Labor Council doesn't want to do that? No. It's not because the Labor Council doesn't want to do that.
They
And
know
it's
my
not,
labor?
and what Master Lock's going through, what Caterpillar's going through, what all these attacks on labor. I mean, we had Benny into the executive board meeting, which everybody know Benny, you know, Ben Elizondo, Pat's better half.
He is, Boso.
Right, it's two esposo,
He's
right?
not the better half.
Oh, okay. He's worse half. But anyway, you know, he's a business rep for our district, and he represents a lot of our shops. And one of the things that he said, and he said it later on in the regular general meeting, he says, you know, it used to be that, you know, maybe the 15, 20 shops that are represent, you'd go to some of them and you'd have problems, right? You know, every time you went around, every now and then you'd find one that would give you some heat and, you know, you'd have a struggle with it. But there was always ones in between where you came in and you just, you know, you made a reasonable agreement and you moved on. And you both parties came to the table understanding that we're going to get an agreement, we're going to give a little, we're going to take a little, and we're going to, you know, keep this relationship. But he said, now it's just shop after shop after shop. When you get them, you see the proposals, they're on the attack. They're on the attack, and it's you and me that they're attacking, you know. So, I mean, basically what happens, what's going on, and the reason that we lost, does anybody know why the Labor Press and why Labor Fest has been canceled?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Because of the loss
It's
of
called
freedom.
Act 10, okay? Act 10, which is what Scott Walker brought in. When he went and made it illegal in the state of Wisconsin for a public sector entity to have a union or to negotiate for their benefits, but negotiate for the things that you and I can negotiate for. When he did that, he knocked out a huge portion of the unions of the state. And the Labor Council is made up, I mean, you've got AFSCME unions, you've got SEIU unions, you've got a lot of unions in there that had delegates that were contributing to the pot, contributing to our welfare, contributing to putting out the labor press, contributing to what it costs to put on labor press. Well, that's gone. That's just taken out. It's like he went into our ammunition and he just said, here, take all your ammunition. It's all gone. Now try to fight me.
Casinos.
And if anybody thinks for a minute that Scott Walker was truly looking after our tax money, look at his entire, what he's done. Look at the times when he's given up, when he's cost us money. I mean, to me, it's just really, really foolish to think that he's trying to be a good steward of our tax money. What he's trying to do, he's trying to bust the unions, he's trying to bring us down to our knees so that his friends, his contributors can come in here and have their way with us. It's very plain to see. That's exactly what he wanted to have happen. Doug was just telling me, maybe you can elaborate later when you talk, about the county. You've got the two unions, they're fighting out with each other. And this is all comes directly from what he did. And we knew this was going to happen. So you've got all these, you know, you've got all these companies where we're getting attacked. You've got the politicians up in the state level after us in different ways, and people are buying into it. People don't, like Doug was saying, people don't really understand what's going on. So what I'm saying is, and what I'm looking for is for labor to stand up and start trying to fight back. And we are. I mean, labor is. But Phil Neuenfeld said at the last Labor Council meeting better than anybody else could say. He said, let's face it, unions can't do this alone. We cannot do it alone. We're not big enough, we don't have enough members, and we just have to face the fact that we can't do this alone. Did you want to say something?
I do, because it's just even away.
Say it.
I will say, I can remember quite a while ago, when we started our march at MacArthur Square, and we marched to Veterans Park because we didn't have a lot of participation, we didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
I think instead of bowing down to Governor Walker and his son, why aren't we doing the simple thing and keeping that march going?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should still say, you know, screw you. You can shove it up our